All right, guys, the next thing we're going to go over is going to be Zendesk. This is the hub of all of our communications. It's an awesome email tracking system. It helps you respond way more efficiently to multiple requests, helps us track the quality of our responses. What you'll have noticed in the Quip doc is there's a link to land on this dashboard. When you click it, it'll probably first have you authenticate using your Google account. Once you do, you're going to land on this screen. I'm not going to go into super in-depth in this video because this is going to be gone over quite a bit more as time progresses here. But a couple things to mention over here that's really awesome with Zendesk and kind of basic operational things just to get your mind thinking about it now. When you land on your dashboard, which is what we're looking at right now, the main thing that we all work out of is this little views icon here. And it's from here that there are going to be a lot of different views that we'll have over here on the left-hand navigation rail. And yours might be a little bit different from mine, but overall, this is where all the different groups work out of. And there's also individual views for each individual person. So I want to just kind of touch on what this might look like, especially in a support role. So when you're working in support, the unsolved tickets from support are here under support. And the way to look at these, based off of what we're looking at right now, is all of these things are outstanding, need to be addressed. It's the first time that something's hit us. Just really quickly want to touch on this red one that's here. It says priority. Anything that's sent from our internal team is handled by someone in-house. So for the most part, it's going to be someone domestically, just because we may need to do phone calls and things like that. Outside of that, everything else is going to be here. And for the most part, we're working this in chronological order. So one of the things that you'll know when you are in a ticket is lots of valuable information as far as who has sent it to you, how you can respond, who else might be CC'd in. This we use for tracking. Is this an agent inquiring? Is it a loan officer, someone else? What is this issue about? Or why did someone inquire? Then you have the full message over here, which we'd reply to. Now, I want to go back just one step. You see everything inside this ticket. That's an email. And you'll note that this is just a support queue. So there's lots of other queues that are in here. So let's say, for example, somebody has a problem with one of their reports. They want to make this into a 5-photo flyer after they've seen their flyers. If we received an inquiry like that, we actually don't handle that. Something like that we would send over to the production team. So what we would do from a ticket like this is, and I'm not going to go into the exact steps, but we would send this to the production team. And the way to transfer a ticket, there's some automations that are built in here we'll go into in more detail, but you change the assignee to whoever's responsible for it. So again, report stuff, we're not responsible for fixing. We will send this over to the production team and they'll help us get us some more of our time back. And when you're sending this over there, what you want to do is, there's two ways of doing this. I usually submit it over as new so they know it's the first time. You ship it on over there. Couple other cues to touch on is agent farm. You won't ever be going in here every time someone's within agent farm and they don't find a listing that they're looking for. They might put an inquiry and say, hey, I want a list report for this, but something's missing for this. So that'll just come into here. The production team just does handle this. Then the next queue over here is going to be regarding account changes. So let's say that someone is emailed us and said, hey, I'm leaving my company and I'm going to a new one, but I can't change my company information. And let's say that's because the company's paying for it. Well, a situation like that, there's restrictive abilities to update that information. So what you're going to do is send that over to the client services team under account, And someone like Michelle or one of her team members will help out update that information. A couple other things, someone that has shop-related questions or shop-related inquiries, any of those would go over to the shop. Someone has a problem with billing. They need to change their credit card out. They have questions about their bill. You can send that over to billing. Someone has questions about training or wants us to do a lunch and learn or something like that. We can send that over to training. Cancellation. Someone says they want to cancel their account. You'd send something like that to cancellations, and we'd follow up. These couple ones are more specialty items. So bad CSAT is for us to follow up on any inquiries that got bad ratings. So when we responded and someone said they're not satisfied, this is where we go to work on that and try to turn them back around. And this Lorber one is kind of a new one. So there's going to be some things that are funneling into referrals that get sent over to sales, and they'll be over here for us to respond to in a separate manner. Suspended tickets and deleted tickets, you won't really be dealing with all that much. But these are the queues, and they're, again, you can send them over here in a couple different ways by when you're inside of a ticket, updating who that assignee is. In this case, I'm going to just do account for this, and you can either submit it as new or submit it as open. Really quickly want to touch on what those actually mean, but not go into too much detail. When you're submitting something as new, this is kind of like a lot of times you're not going to be saying anything in there quite yet. It's just something that needs to get shepherded on to somebody else for whatever reason. If you're submitting something as open, you might have responded on something. It's probably being worked on, or it's a combination of stuff that needs to be worked on. So maybe Michelle and Jessica from client services and from billing both need to do something. And Michelle did her part. She's going to send that over as an open ticket to Jessica to do her part in the billing department. So that's how that's going to happen. Pending is when we need to get something back from whoever inquired. So imagine this. Brandon inquired here, and let's use just for the sake of this conversation that he wants a 5-photo flyer. And he says, I want this specific 5 photos. I want a bedroom, I want a bathroom, I want outside and backyard, and I would like a picture of the pool. And there's multiples of each one of those, but he says, I want these specific ones or whatever. And he attaches only 2 photos of that. We might inquire to get the other couple missing photos from there, or in general, if someone just is inquiring and they didn't give you enough information, we need to ask them for more information. We probably wouldn't say that we've solved the problem, but we would put it under pending. And what will happen is if we don't get a response from that person soon, it does like little check-ins just to make sure we're actively working on satisfying that person. Now, outside of that, when you've done a full resolution and you're feeling very confident that your answer is on point, there should be no reason for them to come back if you did it 100%. Then you're going to be submitting that as solved. That means they're good to go, and you really don't need anything else from them. So these are the basic movements. You want to be really careful in making sure that you select the correct things here, because the implications of not doing the correct things are pretty strong. So I'll give you an example of this. If you submit something as pending that needs to go to the client services team to update account information, they may not see that. They might actually think that that they're waiting for a response on that, and they might not be, when you should have been sent over as new or open because they need to actually do something. So be very, very careful. Make sure you're always selecting the right things when you're passing these tickets over. That gives you the basic flow. Couple other things to go over without, again, jumping into too many details. One of the things that's really exciting about these Zendesk is it's super duper powerful in the sense of cutting out a lot of our work. So I want to give you an idea what that means. A lot of the times we're going to get an inquiry that we know the answer to, or it's a common problem. When it's a common problem, we, for the most part, have almost everything already pre-built out. That's going to give a very nice answer for you that's already pre-set up. So imagine that this inquiry here says, hey, I want to change the price of 123 Maple Street. we have certain macros that allow you to very clearly give a full message of how to change a price. And we probably will resolve it for them too, as we'll discuss a little bit later. But look at what this message was. I did a few keystrokes. And if this says I need to change the price on 123 Maple Street, the response is, "Hi Karen, hope all is well with you. You can easily edit information such as price, property stats, and description in just a few quick steps. Go to your dashboard, find the list reports you want to edit, which is 123 Maple Street. Click the down arrow and click next to the next to the blue view icon. Then you're going to click edit this listing. And it's going to have this nice little GIF over here that's going to show them exactly what the steps look like. When you're done editing, shortly after all of your materials for this address will begin regrinding, and we will update that information with the new information you put in. So it level sets expectations of what they can expect. If they want more information, we'll also have this information in knowledge base. Hope this helps. Please let me know if you have any questions. So as you can see here, we did a few keystrokes, and it was a very, very good quality message that went out. A couple things to mention too while we're in here. When responding, every first inquiry we respond with a greeting, and every end of a inquiry we end with a nice goodbye. So that's hope all is well with you. Hope you're having a great day. If it's Friday, happy Friday. If it's Monday, hope you had a great weekend. At the end of the ticket, hope this helps. Let me know if you have any questions. Have a great day. Have a great weekend. So always want to close that out and start it in a very nice way. But again, the point of this is just showing you the most common questions. We already have answers pre-built out for you. And we'll deep dive into these because there's lots of macros, and it just takes a little bit of time to start absorbing. But just know there's the most common questions. Something's probably already pre-built out for you. The only other things to really kind of jump into that I just want to show you guys is a little bit of miscellaneous reporting here. So we have lots of stats for what our solutions are looking like, how people are interacting with us, how many tickets we're getting, where they're coming from. Quick notes right now as it relates to support. We have two main focus areas. One is customer satisfaction, and that's making sure that you gave the best possible answer you could. If you do that every time, we will minimize the rate where people are unsatisfied. That means a lot. This is a tough thing for us because some people were limited by our modalities of communication. We don't currently have phones where people can call us left and right. And maybe that's rightfully so. 130,000 users with only 4 or 5 of us here, maybe we can't handle it. Well, the point is that if your answer displays a high level of compassion, that you did your best possible resolution that you can, then you are setting yourself up to do what you can to minimize getting a bad satisfaction rating. And again, we always want to follow up with that. So one thing we're measuring on is how satisfied all of our users are with all of the responses. And then the next thing that we're looking for, just in general, is our reply times. So we want our median reply times to be 1 hour or less. So that doesn't necessarily mean that the resolve will take place, but it means that people are being addressed in a timely manner. So someone might inquire about something related to billing or accounts, and we might not be the ones suited to respond to that, but we want to acknowledge someone within that first hour. That's our goal over there. So those are 2 main metrics that we look at over here on support right now. The other thing just to know about Zendesk as a whole is it's a powerful tool beyond what you've seen so far. There's also rules that you can set up that actually make it do work for you. So where that I just described, a ticket needs to go to account team or needs to go to billing. There's actual rules that you can set into the system to have the things like automatically get forwarded to them, automatically get forwarded to the production team, automatically get forwarded to billing. So, and there's unique ways of capturing that. For example, the most common one is we take a subject line of an email. If we get a response with that subject line, it gets zipped over to where it needs to go. So this is Zendesk, super duper powerful tool. We'll definitely be deep diving a little bit later at some point within this training or in alternative ones. Thanks, guys.